What's up, everybody? Welcome to Totally a Fan. This is the show where we go over everything in the world of comics, movies, TV, video games. Your fan and fanfare right here. With me, as always, is our lovely host with the most, Jesse Meza.
I'm a ghost now?
Well, I mean, you died, remember? You were mauled by a bear and then died in a horrific plane accident while the bear was chomping on your legs?
So I was mauled by the bear first, and then you were trying to evac me to the hospital, and then the plane fell?
Yep. Exactly how it happened. Yeah.
Got some strong meds on me.
Yeah. I mean, it was a horrific accident. You definitely needed something. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Totally a Fan. We got some major announcements next weekend, next Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/TotallyFanTAF. We have our first guest host, Mr. Richard Poor. He's a comedic weirdo. He's the host of Kickback and Chillax. He's going to be here next Saturday, so make sure you guys are tuning in. It's going to be a really funny episode, I think. It's going to be just fantastic overall. So we have quite a bit of stuff to talk about, but before we do, we stream every Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. East Coast. We stream it here live on Twitch. If for whatever reason you can't catch it on Twitch, please make sure that you guys are tuning in on anchor.fm/TotallyAFan, where you guys can catch the podcast there, or wherever else you like to listen to podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, etc., etc. Also, please make sure you guys are following us on all of our social media. Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram even. Community engagement is really important because we want to make sure that we cater the show to what you guys want to talk about. So if you guys ever have any topics, something going on in the news, or just anything you guys want us to talk about, make sure you guys hit us up at social media at TotallyFan on all platforms. Also, if you guys can't catch the show on Twitch or on Anchor, we do sprinkle episodes we sprinkle clips throughout the week on YouTube, as well as the full episode goes up on Wednesday. So definitely make sure you guys catch us there. Last reminder, if you guys like what we do and you want to help support the show, please consider subscribing absolutely for free using Amazon Prime on Twitch. And make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. So let's go ahead and get started with today's episode, yeah? Give me a second. Got to do the music fade. And here we go. Warner Brothers, or rather AT&T, is getting ready to merge with Discovery. Now, what does that mean? AT&T is trying to get a competitive edge over Disney Plus. So their merger they're basically the parent, I believe, to Warner Brothers and Warner Entertainment, and etc., and Warner Media. Their merger with Discovery is going to mean a new array of content, being able to gather all different kinds of assets. And essentially, it works like the Disney-Fox merger, just the competitive brands. Now, essentially what it is they're going to be producing new content. They're going to be able to mix and match resources for different things. That includes TV stuff. It also includes marketing things. But for us nerds, it goes a little bit deeper. Now, DC Comics will continue to remain as DC Comics. That's something that they're not going to mess with, especially because I believe DC, I can't confirm, but I'm pretty sure that DC is more marketable. Not marketable. What's the word? They're doing better in the comics department than Marvel is. They have more of a fan base, and they make more numbers as far as comic sales. So they're not going to get rid of that anytime soon. But what does it mean for everything else? Well, certain movies, I believe, are either going to get canceled, delayed, or they might continue to come out as regular. There's no word on that yet. But the other speculation, too, is that whatever could happen with those movies, that includes Injustice and everything else that's on the way, their game department is also going to get split. Now, we know that Warner Brothers makes some mobile games. I don't know what else Discovery has their hands into, but those mobile games, and I'm pretty sure a bunch of other games, are going to get shifted to AT&T's gaming department, where they're going to be making that stuff. And the rest of Warner Brothers games is going to be split. So who's going to get really affected? It's going to be multiple video game studios. Includes Rocksteady. They did the Batman Arkham series. NetherRealm. They did Mortal Kombat. We know that they're also going to be we knew that they were going to work on the Marvel version of Mortal Kombat slash DC. I don't know if that's going to happen now. We'll see. The guys that make the Lego games, the new Hogwarts game is going to get affected, as well as the mobile one. And then other stuff, too, could get affected with Sony and EA. So it's a lot to go over. But, Jesse, what are your initial thoughts here?
My initial thoughts are I don't understand anything dealing with entertainment. It seems like nowadays, like everyone is teaming up to basically fight Disney Plus. And it kind of reminds me, if I could use a sports analogy, LeBron James was in the league. He's a young whippersnapper. He played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Mm-hmm. And he was okay, but clearly he was the best player on that team, and the rest of the team sucked. And then he moved on to the Miami Heat and brought with him other all-stars and other superstars to basically compete. And after he did that, every other team needed all these MVPs on one single team to create like super teams. Yeah. So what I'm feeling like is like Disney Plus came and completely demolished everything. So now, we got to take all our brands. We got to make a super, Paramount Plus. We got to make Super Discovery Plus. We got to do everything plus. HBO Max. We got to do, and like, they're all just scrambling to fight, the giant mouse-eared corporate entity known as Disney.
Our Lord and Savior?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just crazy. I'm like, eventually we're going to run out of companies to merge with, and we're all just going to be one unified, singular platform. I don't know. AT&T, I mean, that's so weird. Like, AT&T, I don't think entertainment when I think AT&T, Yeah. But I guess if, like Warner Brothers, I understand that. But, like, I guess if you got the money, you could buy whoever you want and merge whoever you want. So,
yeah, I mean, mergers happen in the corporate world like all the time, right? And we even
merger between two companies, not like here's my company and my 50 acquisitions, and here's your 50, and we'll combine them into like super freaking mega mode.
Yeah, usually
like Megazord.
Usually it's a company buying out the other, and like what Marvel or what Disney did with Fox. They knew that they were going to go that Disney Plus route, and so they wanted to do that merger to be able to have more assets and things like that. So I can see AT&T probably doing the same thing with Discovery, them buying them out. Now, it's going to... More information will get released when it happens, when movies come out, or if movies get delayed for whatever reason. But I fear that it's gonna happen the same thing with Disney Plus, where they're gonna do premiums for like content that should just get released like regularly. Certain projects that we know are in the works are gonna get canceled or get canned like altogether, because NetherRealms has that huge ties with Warner. So with this and all these different projects coming out, with the game department getting split to AT&T as well as WB Games, I don't know, man. Like it's gonna change basically not how we consume content, but the content that we are going to consume. Very similar to the Disney Fox merger. It's almost the exact same thing, just with different properties. So we'll see how it turns out. We'll continue to report things as things come out, but obviously keep in mind, we're not insiders. We don't have insiders. We don't have people that can give us that proper information or that can confirm or deny rumors or things that are going on. But that's just something to keep in mind, right? When things get canceled or delayed, keeping in mind that more than likely has to do with this deal. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. I mean, that's really all that we can do at this time.
Just inject it into my veins already.
I'm
waiting for it. Mm-hmm. Just take me, Daddy.
All right, moving on. We are getting a brand new Batman animated series. Now, what's crazy about this is that the original guy, Bruce Timm, I think his name is, the original guy who created the Batman animated universe, the New Adventures of Batman, Batman Beyond, who had a hand in the Justice League as well as Justice League Unlimited, the whole Batman, the DC animated universe. That guy, he's coming back for this. Now, it's not just him. It's also going to be Matt Reeves, the current director for the new The Batman movie starring Robert Pattinson. And J.J. Abrams is also going to have his hand in this. Probably as an executive producer role. We're not 100% sure on that just yet. Now, this series is going to be a brand new Batman animated series. And a lot of the artwork that we're looking at, it looks like it's based on the original, like OG Batman from Detective Comics. Like, with the ears when they come out like this, right? Not the ones that go straight up or the ones that are kind of short, like what we're known with like current DC stuff like Jim Lee and everybody else. It's like the OG stuff where like the cowl goes out like that. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm super excited because the original creator gave us Harley Quinn. He also gave us really awesome storylines that a lot of people base their Batman knowledge on, and it's not too far from the content material, but it gives us more of that edgy Batman of what people weren't getting from like the Adam West Batman. So there were a lot of similarities between the show and then the Tim Burton the Tim Burton movie of Batman and Batman Returns. So I'm really interested to see if this is going to have any ties with the current Robert Pattinson movie, or if it's going to have its completely own new universe. I wonder if we're going to get new characters and all that stuff. Jesse, what are your thoughts?
I love me some Batman. Yeah, the original animated series is probably one of my favorite cartoons ever, and they've tried in the past to sort of replicate that magic. They couldn't quite get it going. I mean, some of the sequel series that followed were pretty all right. They were decent, but the fact that the original producer is coming back to work on these gives me a little bit more hope that maybe we could sort of recapture that, that magical time back in the 90s where everything was dark and edgy, like SWAT cats, everything had to be cool. So I'm excited. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think a bit of nostalgia of coming back to this universe. Like I this is one of the many shows that I remember waking up early Saturday to go downstairs and watch. So it'd be really interesting to see just more of this, right? Because like it was a really good show. They went over like some interesting topics, and like they didn't they were not like current cartoons are now, right? Where like everything's super goofy, everything's super like fantastical, like it was a little bit dark. Yeah, a little bit dark, a little bit edgy. So we know that the show is called Batman Cape Crusader, and it's going to be coming to HBO Max and Cartoon Network. So I'm wondering if it's also going to be on TV, like what limitations they have as far as being able to produce the content. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be sick. I'm really excited about it, and it's more content, so it's more good content. So I'm really interested in seeing what comes out of this. All right, last topic. Here we go. Netflix is now going to be opening up their own gaming department. Now, after we reported that they were opening up their own animated department where they're going to be working on anime, animated shorts, 3D stuff like Pixar, in an attempt to compete against Disney, we recently got confirmation that they're also going to be looking into more interactive entertainment. Now, what this means is certain games, and I think it's similar to the Stranger Things game, the Telltale games, as well as, I don't know who's seen it, but if you guys have seen Bandersnatch on Netflix, it's a movie that's based in the Black Mirror series. It's an interactive movie basically where you're watching it and then you, the viewer, can make decisions that happens with the character, and then you dive into a rich, deep story a la Black Mirror. We don't know 100% yet if Netflix is going to be focused specifically on that type of interactive entertainment, or if they're also going to be dipping into some sort of rentable games market. I don't think that's what they're going to do. So it's curious to see what will evolve out of this. Now, some of the games that they have that they have on their slate, they're not bad. They're fun. Like I said, that Bandersnatch interactive movie, was actually something that I remember having that experience with books back in the day. So to have it in a movie or a TV format, I think that'd be interesting. Jesse, what are your thoughts? Since you're our gaming expert.
Resident gaming expert. Yeah, this is a little sus, if I'm being completely honest. Amazon has their own game studio.
Actually, yes, I think
You know that?
heard about it. But
They released, they bought a bunch of companies. They bought the developer from Killer Instinct, which I thought was an amazing developer.
Mhm.
They bought them, and they haven't made a game since. So, anytime a non-gaming company decides to make games, usually doesn't turn out too good.
Mhm.
That's almost, it's like, what if Gearbox decided to make movies? That would be a little weird, right? Like it's like, and going off the Amazon thing, they wanted to create Amazon game studios to compete with like Microsoft and Sony. They released a total of like 2 games, and the third one just up and got canceled. And I don't know what they're doing. They don't really know what they're doing. I think they just want to be part of like the fun, so to speak.
Yeah.
So this whole Netflix studio. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's a little sus. I don't know what to think about that. I mean, Xbox Game Pass is kind of like where you can rent games and you pay a monthly fee. I mean, if they did something like that, that might be okay. But if they want to actively create a game studio and I guess maybe work on games based on their own properties, maybe. But would you really trust an unknown developer from What's It Land making a Stranger Things game? Wouldn't you want to outsource that to someone who's proven themselves in the past?
Well, I definitely think
good for them.
I definitely think that's a route that they might consider, that they definitely should consider, is again, Telltale makes they do like the Stranger Things, I believe it's the Stranger Things game. So for them to collaborate with studios would make sense, versus them creating a whole new branch under the department to make games. They would have to go on a crazy hiring spree of known animators, 3D modelers, programmers, and all that stuff, and that would be a lot of money. And Netflix, I think, has. I mean, their services are $12 now, more than that, I think. It would stand to reason that they have the money to do something like that if they want to get into that market. Now, we do know that they want to push the whole animated stuff, so it's possible that they could have animators that are working on some of those shows could be then going to work on video games. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that that's a possibility within that company's capabilities. But I don't know. I'm kind of in the same boat with Jesse. I don't know if we can trust the quality of those types of games. But obviously we'll have to wait and see until their first game comes out, because it could be completely amazing, and we just don't know. As far as Amazon Gaming goes, I that was my understanding, was that they opened a game department, but it was so closely tied with Twitch. And I know we have if you're a Twitch streamer, you have access to downloadable content with Twitch Prime or Amazon Gaming. So for them to not produce a video game, it's just somebody not knowing what they have, I guess, because it's Bezos. Bezos is a villain. I'm just gonna throw that out there. He's a Marvel. He's a comic book villain. That guy. But yeah.
Why? Because he's rich?
No, I mean, well, part of it, but I mean, there's more to it.
Batman is rich.
There's more to it than that. But we could get into that discussion later. But I don't know if we should be talking about it, because I am streaming on Twitch, and he owns Twitch. And I guess TotallyAFan's canceled now, guys. Hot damn. Anyways, yeah. So I don't know. We'll wait and see what their first game is that comes out. I'd be very interested to see at least a trailer to see what the quality of animation is going to look like, and then we can go from there. But any closing statements? Nope.
Hot tub stream next week.
Hot tub stream next. No, we're not doing
Come on, let's do it.
No,
I'm ready. I'm down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Totally a Fan Live. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with us. We're not going to be switching over to the more podcast feel segment, whatever you want to call it, of the show, where we're just going to take deep dives into anything, really. So this is definitely the best time. If you guys are in chat, if you guys want us to talk about something specific, if you guys want more clarity on information, whatever the case is, make sure that you guys are hitting us up in the chat. That community engagement is really important because, again, I want to cater the show to what you guys want us to talk about. So long as it fits within the world of fandom, we're about it. So definitely make sure you guys are following us on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at TotallyAFan. Really appreciate it. So let's see what's going on in the world of fandom. We know that Dave Filoni just got a huge promotion. He's now like a creative director at Lucasfilms, but he doesn't have the role that we all want him to have. We want him to be the head because Kathleen Kennedy sucks. So shout out to Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is the creator of Clone Wars. He's also working on The Bad Batch. We also had a wonderful opportunity to have him put a lot of input, as well as I believe he directed an episode of The Mandalorian, so that's great. He's also going to be making other head decisions, which I'm really excited about. But definitely he's there. Now, I guess this should be a new segment, but I guess it's not. But with that said, the new Star Wars show, Rangers of the New Republic, that show got canned. And it got canned because of Gina Carano, because I believe the way the story would go, or the lore would go, is that Gina Carano's character would basically form a new branch of the New Republic called the Rangers of the New Republic, and they would go on space missions and, get into space battles. Yeah, that's not happening anymore. So.
Oh, well.
Yeah, oh, well.
Should have kept their mouth shut. All you have to do is keep your mouth shut and fall in line. That's all you got to do. Yeah. It's so easy. Just don't talk.
I mean, I don't know. Look, if you say that, though, you're kind of impeding somebody else's, free speech, though. I mean,
it's not free speech. It's Twitter. I'm allowed to fire you if I think you're a nut job. That's called being part of a business.
Yeah. I mean, look, everyone's entitled to their own opinions and everyone's entitled to their own political views. But when you're spouting...
You know how this works.
Yeah.
It's Disney. You know how this works.
Yeah. When you're spouting, dumb shit. Yeah. Well... Look, I mean, I was excited for Rangers of the New Republic because it's more content, right? It's more Star Wars content, and it's gonna focus on actual new characters versus the Ahsoka show is gonna focus on Ahsoka, and not that she's a bad character because she's a great character. It's gonna focus on her journeys, and it's basically gonna be, in my opinion, a live action continuation of Rebels. So. Kind of why I would prefer a whole new world, new characters, and all that stuff. But it is what it is. We're also getting the Book of Boba Fett. That's still coming out, and Mandalorian Season 3 is also still coming out. I've read somewhere that they're still going to be connected in terms of crossover episodes. So that'd be fun if it's basically the Star Wars verse, right, or the Mandalorian verse, kind of like the Arrowverse. If they have that interaction with each other. So we're not going to get that show. And then some of the other shows, I believe, are still on the way. We're still getting the Obi-Wan show that has no ties to the New Republic show. So that would be interesting. What about you, Jess? Anything new on your plate?
I still got to see, man. I haven't seen any Star Wars, I need to see Mandalorian. I need to catch up. I'm so behind on everything.
Yeah.
Kids does.
Yeah, man.
No, I have no free time. It's all gone. I've watched every episode of Blippi though,
Oh
and Bubble
yeah,
Guppies, Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol's my shit.
Yeah,
So,
no time for no time for Star Wars. None of that stuff.
yeah.
So, oh
There's a,
well.
oh well. There's also there's a lot of stuff going on right now in the news. Actually, we
What
can
did
always
you talk about last week? Because there was something I wanted to talk about last week. What was
the topics for last week's episode.
yeah. Was it like
Mm.
was it Nintendo related? It was something Nintendo. I'm
Yeah,
a big
yeah.
Nintendo nerd.
Mario Kart,
Oh,
Donkey Kong, Mario Party 2. I think there was like another game, but those were the big games that were coming out for Nintendo. That like were rumored, but the rumors were grounded on like facts.
yeah, nothing confirmed. It's all just oh, I think this will happen.
Yeah.
Bunch of leaks and unnamed sources.
Right.
Dude, I could go on 4chan and say, yeah, they're making Mario Party 2. Like, what are they gonna do?
Right, but the person that leaked it was supposedly like they had decent credibility. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to find the articles so I can link it to you.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. Nothing going on.
What do you mean nothing's going on?
I mean, we're nothing's going on. There's no movies coming out. There's no games coming out. It's just been kind of slow.
No, but we got
Space
like
Jam's coming out though.
geez, Space Jam. Yeah, we got. I think we got like a new trailer for Space Jam. Don't really know how I feel about it.
Come on, dude. Space Jam.
Oh, we got the trailer for Snake Eyes, and interesting. Snake Eyes was supposed to be a spin-off of the GI Joe movies, but it looks like it's its own universe. Like, it doesn't look
Yeah,
like it
they're
has any
starting over.
ties to the GI Joe franchise.
I mean, at this point, it's been how many years since the last one? They might as well just start over.
Yeah. Oh, we also got a sneak peek of a Rugrats episode.
It still looks. Oh, I can't. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be great, but I just can't get over it.
You know,
It
for me,
looks
the
so
biggest
weird.
thing is like the shading looks weird. The shading in the like I want more bright, vibrant colors. But it looks too dark. It looks like I don't know how to explain it.
I mean, you don't have to do it now, but like, can you watch the trailer? And does Susie look smaller? She's supposed to be the same age as Angelica,
Mm-hmm.
but she's like the same height as Tommy. And when Angelica is in the scene, she's clearly taller than Susie. So did they age her down? She's supposed to be the same age as Angelica.
Yeah, she
So,
does look smaller.
There's something's weird. You know?
Yeah, she's a little bit taller than Tommy, but not by much. But she's supposed to be like pretty
There's one
tall.
good teaser. I think the first one they released, like with the ball, and which is just a remake of an old episode
Mm.
where she takes the ball and throws it across the fence. And they're in the shot together, and she clearly like towers over her, and it just looks weird. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't know. The animation for me, like, it's still gonna take a lot of getting used to, and I'm wondering why they decided to go this route. But the shading for me is the biggest issue that I have. But we'll wait and see. I'll probably watch it anyways. But yeah, it does look weird, and Susie does look smaller. She's supposed to be as tall as Angelica. Actually, isn't she taller than Angelica?
Yeah, they're both supposed to be like.
I know her
3.
head is bigger.
And Chucky is supposed to be 2, and then everyone else is supposed to be 1. So I don't know what they're doing. If they're, it just looks so weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. Oh, you know what? One thing I want to talk about a little bit. So Kevin Feige came out saying how they made a bad choice with casting the Ancient One as not Asian.
Oh no, that's what I wanted to talk about. That was it. All right.
That was it?
Continue.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's funny because like everybody excuse me, everybody like blew up on Twitter like how angry they were about the decision. And then I remember like they doubled down on the decision. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Tilda Swinton is a good actress. I think talent, but um, and we've loosely talked about it throughout like several episodes of Totally Fan, right? But the whole like gender bending isn't it's kind of an issue for me when they do it just to do it. Race bending is a huge thing because you know cultural reasons into things becomes a problem. Like with the whole Iron Fist not being Asian, like I don't know if Iron Fist should have been a show that was made at all, to be honest. But the reason why I was okay with them continuing to cast the white person is because that was the whole point. Iron Fist was created in that, of an American fanboy being a fan of like Kung Fu. That's why he's white. Should they have casted an Asian person? I don't know. I mean, could they have? Of course they could have. Should they have? I don't know. I don't think we should have gotten an Iron Fist show. With that said, the Ancient One, I think, should have been Asian because it would have made more sense for it to be an Asian person considering where they were in the world. It's kind of weird that all of a sudden it's a random white person. And I get it. Kevin Feige thought that they were being edgy. They thought they were doing something, progressive. But no, man, that was a bad call. And
well, it wasn't a bad call like when they did it because clearly they were more focused on the fact that it was a male and we're like, oh, we're gonna give the females more time, so we're gonna turn him into a female. Like that's what their angle was. So now like all of a sudden it's backfiring. Like, well, you should have kept him an Asian male. So it's like they were more concerned about the gender versus the race. So they weren't focused on the race. They just wanted.
Well, I thought they didn't want to. I thought what it was is like they didn't want to tease or not tease, but they didn't want to feed into like the Asian stereotypes.
Yeah, so now it's like, well, you should have done that. Like you can't. Yeah, no matter what you do, you can't win. It's
Yeah, it's
like
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Every choice you make is wrong.
Yeah.
So it just you gotta. I thought she did a good job. I mean, I wasn't like, oh, this role is so dumb because it's not an Asian dude. Like
right.
it was perfectly fine for what it was.
Yeah, again, Tilda Swinton is a fantastic actress. It's a lot of talent coming out of her. So I think she killed the role. Could there have been another actor to do the same? Maybe, but
like I mean, if you're familiar with like the canon in the comics, I mean, it looks. Might look a little weird, but you kind of get over it. Like in the new Batman, isn't Commissioner Gordon a black man now? Who's he played by?
Oh yeah, I forget the dude's name, but he's the dude from Hunger Games and Westworld.
Yeah, so he's black now. I mean, that's a little weird for 2 seconds, but I mean, you're just gonna get over that. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, let him. I feel like if the actor is good enough to play that part, they should play that part.
Yeah, that's another thing. He's played by Jeffrey Wright. Another good actor.
You don't have to. And it bugs me so much with the whole voice acting debate, like with The Simpsons, how like it was with that Apu documentary. Like all of a sudden, people have a problem with like white guys voicing like people of color or whatever. And to me, it's like that's voice acting. Like that really. I mean, you can take that into account when you're hiring and you're casting people. But like, if this role has been around for 20-something years, like, does it really matter now? It's a voice. Like, you're not, and like I understand the guy like made a choice, and he's like, well, I'm not going to voice anyone, and they replaced pretty much every person of color on The Simpsons, Family Guy too. But it's like, dude, you're an actor playing another person. You don't have to be, you don't have to be a doctor to play a doctor. You don't have to be an Asian man to play an Asian man. I mean, Phil Lamar, who's a black man, plays Samurai Jack, who's a Japanese samurai, and no one seems to care about that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Keep in mind. Hold on, real quick. Keep in mind, like, voicing is one thing versus like visually representing is another thing, right? Like,
yeah, I'm talking specifically about like voices.
Yeah, I don't want people to think. I don't want people to think that like you're gonna hire fucking Michael B. Jordan to play Mr. Kim, like
you don't want Chris Pratt as Martin Luther King.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
No, no, I'm specifically talking about voice acting roles.
Yeah.
And how it's this trend. Like it's really pretty recent. Like Carl from The Simpsons got replaced. Dr. Hibbert. Anyone who's a person of color has got replaced. That even like kid shows, they were like one actress was just a white actress playing a black little girl, and they replaced her with a black woman to do the voice. It's like, I mean, I guess, but like, you wouldn't you figure that when you cast the person? Like,
Yeah.
it's just like it's acting. Like like you should be able to play whoever you want. Like you don't have to match the ethnicity of the person. You don't have to be. It's acting. That's what's called acting. But I don't know. As long as it sounds good, I don't care.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. I agree 100%. I think, I do believe that like the whole gender swapping and race bending, I do think is really corny, cheesy, and a lot of times it's really bad, just because it's going against the grain of like what we know as the character. But to a certain degree, I've been, uh, I've always said that like if their race or their gender doesn't doesn't like isn't like the building blocks of who that person is as a character, then it doesn't matter. But doing it, I feel like is cheesy still. Like, sure, you can, like, for an example, right? Sure, if you want to cast a black guy as Peter Parker, then by all means you can. But doing it also becomes but why do it at all? There is a black character, there is a black Spider-Man for a reason. It doesn't make sense to do it. Now, I remember having this conversation about like cosplayers. Cosplaying, I think it's completely different. I don't think it matters when you're cosplaying. It definitely shouldn't matter when you're cosplaying, because we all love these characters, so we're doing it. But then when you're doing it as a movie or a TV show, that representation, I do believe, matters. But also, again, so long as it doesn't affect who that character is as a person, you're pretty good to go. But it's still just a cheesy thing to do. Like, it's an unnecessary thing to do. I've always been more a proponent of just create new characters. Just create a black character who has to go through struggles, or doesn't have to go through struggles. He could be a fucking like A+ genius and be a black character, and then becomes his own version of Iron Man without, having any ties, any correlation, or any communication with Tony Stark's Iron Man. I would rather that than you making like Riri, right? Riri Williams, who becomes Ironheart. I think that's kind of cheesy. I think they should have just made her become her own like iron suited hero, rather than having any connections to Iron Man. The same thing with this new Native American Captain America that's in the works. I think it's better to just create the new characters versus changing the old characters, just because, again, I just think it's really corny. I think it's really cheesy.
Yeah, but if you saw the girl Riri, like, if she had no connection to Tony Stark, would you even want to read it? I think like establishing her as her own character, but then also having that connection to sort of reel in current viewers. Like, I don't think anyone would care if she was completely distanced from anyone else.
I mean,
like the whole point of her sneaking in and like stealing Stark tech to build her own suit is kind of cool, and then him finding out about it, like, that's cool. But
so I would say that if, with that regard, right, I think if she were to have done that, so to a degree, these characters do need some sort of endorsement by an already established character in order for that fan base to build up, but also to attract, like, hey, you love Iron Man so much, we're going to introduce another character that's like Iron Man. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. And this is how it's going to be connected. So I do understand the endorsement, kind of needs to be there to a certain extent. But I think if you just create a whole new, I mean, if you're a big publisher like Marvel or DC and you're announcing that you're creating a whole new character, then it should work. That should be enough to get people interested and motivated in it, right? Like, for an example,
it's definitely harder.
Yeah, but like, for an example, Static Shock, right? Static Shock is a new. Well, I mean, he's the same guy, it's the same character that we know and love, but he was a new character. He doesn't have connections with the Flash. He doesn't have connections with any past heroes until after he was established. And I think we need to do more of that when it comes to movies, casting, gaming, everything. I think it's better to create a whole new set of characters. People are freaking out when they were going to cast Idris Elba as the new 007. But I'm okay with that, though. Like,
I actually I think that's a cool choice.
yeah,
I'd love that, to be honest.
when it comes to
That'd be
007,
cool.
when it comes to 007 and every iteration of 007, they were always playing on the fact that it's a rank. It's not a specific person. So anyone can fill the shoes of a 007, which is fine. I'm okay with that. I personally would like to see other 00 agents have their own spin-offs.
Yeah,
I think that would be fucking epic.
They're not even connected. It's like James Bond is the perfect person to just swap because like clearly the Daniel Craig isn't the same James Bond as the Pierce Brosnan,
Right.
and he's not the same as the Sean Connery. They're clearly different James Bonds. So you could totally do that, and it would be all right.
Yeah, but I would still argue that I would rather see a different 00 agent. I would rather them create a whole new movie on a new 00 and it just expand the world and have them, communicate with 007 on a mission or something. I think that would be cool. I think that would be much better.
No one would watch that. If you called it 009, no one would care. I
don't
think
know.
it's an established character. It's an established brand. That's why they do it.
I mean, I don't know. I would watch it. I would love to see it. Okay,
You'd watch 009?
I would watch it. Yeah. I would watch it because it's going to be a new
I don't
character with new shit. Maybe he has a different personality than James Bond. Maybe he's more ruthless or maybe less ruthless. But who knows? I think it'd be cool. But with that said, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna not watch Idris Elba 007 just because it's Idris Elba. He's a fucking great actor. And Salvo, thank you for commenting too. He is a phenomenal actor. I totally agree. And I would love to see anybody in the 007 role. I love the Daniel Craig version of James Bond. I would love the next version, right? So long as you good action, good stuff, I'm down to see the next one. But that's something that is going to continue to affect us moving forward with anything that comes out, right? Like the Little Mermaid is getting casted as a black mermaid, which doesn't matter. I think it's kind of corny considering the fact that
again,
the
it's
lore
weird for 5 minutes and then you get over it.
And then you get over it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know what else we have to say about that topic. But we're getting a new Proud Family. Talking about black people. We're getting a new Proud Family.
Nice segue.
Yeah, right. It worked out.
Speaking of black people,
I think it's called. Hold on. Let me find the title. New Proud Family. Now we do know that a lot of the cast is coming back. They got a bunch of the old actors, but we're also going to get new actors too. So it's called The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. We're going to get new characters. We're going to get the parents of certain people. We're going to see just more of the same content, it looks like. The animation does look a little bit updated, but it doesn't look like it's completely changed, which I'm really happy about. When they did that with Jake Long, it bothered me a lot. We also saw it with trying to think what other.
we're seeing it right now with Rugrats.
Yeah, with Rugrats,
you clearly could have had the same style, and why didn't Disney make this the CGI? Because it would look weird.
Yeah.
So I guess studios who make it just have their own way of doing things, I guess.
Right. So again, I'm really happy that they're keeping obviously the characters are a little bit older, so there is going to be a little bit change in terms of costume and in terms of overall look because they're not kids anymore. So you have to have more teenager, more adult features in terms of like taller. The hairstyle might be different or whatever, but overall the art direction looks the same, and that's great. Like I like to see that because it's definitely going to feel more like a continuation of the series. And Proud Family was a great TV show that gave us a perspective that I think a lot of people didn't have at the time, and I think that a lot of people need. especially right now with everything happening. So I'm excited about that. I definitely wanted to bring it up. And yes, we talked about Dave Filoni's promotion. We also talked about other stuff going on with Lucasfilm too. Did we talk about Lucasfilm games? I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it was one of the episodes.
Yeah.
A while back.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Lucasfilm's games, I don't know if it's official from the company or if it was a fan made. But we have a look of what the Knights of the Old Republic remake is going to look like. The person that created the video used the Unreal Engine, and it looks fucking dope, dude. But I don't know if he actually works for the studio that's working on the remake or if he was just a fan who rebuilt it. But I wonder if that leak that we got a while back of Coruscant, if that isn't related to Knights of the Old Republic, because in Knights of the Old Republic, you go to Coruscant for a little bit, right? I think in the beginning, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played, but it looks good, man. It looks good, and if it is part of the game, man, I'm excited for it. It's such a good game. Such a good game. Let's see, Jesse, you have anything else you want to talk about? Anything else going on in fandom?
Nothing that I want to bring up. I mean, I'm more of a resident game movie kind of guy, and everything seems to be kind of slow.
Yeah, it was
happening
a little slow
right
this
now.
week. You didn't want to talk about the new Nintendo games apart from like, you're not excited if it's actually true?
I mean, yeah, but Nintendo kind of, I don't get my hopes up because 9 times out of 10 they don't come true. Because the last couple of years, every like E3, I'm so excited to see like Metroid or a new Paper Mario or something, and it just they don't do it. So I'm just gonna be like, whatever I get, it's what I get.
Okay.
So.
Well, I'm interested in seeing what, like, if any of these are true, because we talked about it that one day. We definitely would like a Mario Kart 9. We're getting a new DK if it's true, and I didn't expect to get a new DK, and they're going to the 2D route. Mario Party for Switch we're gonna get a Mario Party 2, and supposedly they're testing out more online features to be able to play with like other people online, which I think they should have done with this last one. Did you hear that the voice actor for Crash teased something that people started speculating it's going to be him being in Smash Bros?
No, I didn't hear that.
Oh, okay. Well,
you can't. I could already guarantee he's not going to be in Smash because you can't tease anything. Like, they are so secretive with that. Like, it's just people looking into something that they want, and it's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well,
no way. It's too little, too late. He's not coming. Just get over it.
Because what was it? It was the voice actor for Crash and the voice actor for Cortex. They teased that they were back in the studio filming a project. I think somebody asked Smash Brothers, and then he put the shrug emoji, which the speculation of fans, man, I tell you, the shrug emoji could literally mean anything, right? He can't confirm, he can't deny stuff. We talked about this before with past leaks, but that got people buzzing, thinking that Crash is in fact working, or that Crash will in fact be in the new Smash, will be the new Smash character. But they literally could have recorded anything. It could have been an animated short. It could have been maybe something for a sequel. Maybe, who knows. But just the speculation that the fans do, man, it really, it's so crazy. Like the speculation with WandaVision, the speculation with like what's gonna happen with Spider-Man, like it's crazy. Just really far out there ideas.
Yeah. I can't speculate anymore.
Yeah.
I'm all unspeculated out.
Unspeculated
for that
out.
Ralph Boner. After Ralph Boner made his MCU debut, I'm just like, you know what? No, I don't care anymore. Do whatever you want.
So
how hard was it to just say you were multiverse Quicksilver? Like, come on, really?
Yeah.
Killing me.
All right, so we're just gonna quickly go down the list here of interesting news. If you guys want us to talk about it, just please make sure you guys are posting in the chat. But the director for Godzilla vs. Kong, Adam Wingard, he's developing a Thundercats live action movie. That'd be interesting. Microsoft is officially going to kill Internet Explorer. It's about time, dude. About time. Do you remember Bing?
Dude, I still use Bing.
Do you really? Oh, I don't.
Heck yeah. I remember Netscape Navigator, man. That was my jam.
Yeah. Netscape. Freaking terrible. Hocus Pocus 2 is in development, and they confirmed that they're bringing back the old cast.
The really old cast at this point.
Yeah, right? We got a new Time Splitters game that's in development. I think that's going to be cool. Ooh, Dungeons & Dragons is getting a huge update. They're getting huge updates. I think a lot of it has to do with the new movie that's coming out. But characters... So based on the lore and canonical stuff going on with the game and like the books and stuff, I know that they're going to do an update to the Drow. And a lot of it is coming off the heels of like this whole Asian hate stuff. Or Stop Asian Hate stuff. Which I guess is good to a degree. We'll have to wait and see what the changes really are, because it's not going to be stats. It's going to be more lore-based stuff. But they're also going to be doing, I guess, like the continuation of what's happening in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. If you don't play Homebrew, then you know exactly what's going on. The bad guy from Shazam isn't returning for the sequel.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think it's scheduling, but he confirmed that he's not coming back for the sequel, which is weird because they teased his potential, like, being in the sequel. So we'll see. We're getting a new Tony Hawk's Pro Skater game. Now I'm interested, not interested, but I'm curious if this is going to be a remake of Pro Skater 3 or if it's a new one. But based on the success of the Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, it looks like they're developing a new one. A new game.
I mean, it's probably based on, is it like a new game or a new like remake of 3 and 4?
Well, that's what I thought, right? But as far as we know, Activision hasn't announced anything specifically to what the new game is going to be. Apart from the fact that it will be a new Pro Skater title. Like, it's not going to be Skate or any, like, you know, it's going to be within the Pro Skater series.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the article. To me, this sounds like they are just remastering 3 and 4, not like a new entry. Because they're talking to the one of the band members who had music in Tony Hawk 3, and they were asking him if he's had any music in any other games, and he mentioned, yeah, the new Tony Hawk coming out. But that could refer to, because they've had music in Pro Skater 3. So I don't know. I mean, they tried to do like Pro Skater 5, and that tanked horribly. So I feel the safer bet is to remake 3 and 4. Which is what I think they should do.
I mean, we'll wait and see. But yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, I would like to see a new one, but we'll wait and see. Carrying on this week. X-Men, the comic books X-Men is teasing the return of a 90s villain known as Onslaught. For those of you who don't know, Onslaught basically looks like a roided out version of Magneto with like apocalypse vibes. So they're teasing his possible return to the comics. Nothing's confirmed yet. Ooh, this is big news. So Critical Role's campaign, the season 2 campaign, it's going to be ending soon. And, I was talking about this with my brother last night, actually, how it's crazy how they were able to make this like their full-time job with voice acting on the side. Whereas when they started, they were voice actors full-time with D&D on the side. They've created such a crazy, awesome atmosphere. They've introduced a lot of people into Dungeons and Dragons, myself included. So I think it's awesome that they've gone on for so long. I don't think that they're going to be like stopping D&D altogether. I just think that campaign 2 is coming to an end, and then they're going to make a new one. But I don't know, what the full extent is. We'll find out a little bit more details. But Matt Mercer, who's the current dungeon master of the Critical Role, he stated that it's coming to an end, but that there's more adventures to be had. So who knows? We'll see if a season 3 comes out of that. We also talked about it a little bit earlier, or we teased it rather, but Injustice, they're going to make a movie based off Injustice, Gods Among Us. And I think, based on the report, it looks like it's based more off of the video game, which I think is a missed opportunity because the prequel comics, there's a lot of really cool, really gut-wrenching moments that cause the events of Injustice to take place. So I think if we don't get to live those experiences, it's gonna suck for the movie. I think it's like, don't get me wrong, the events that take place during the games like time, they're interesting and they're good reads. But I think the deeper, more grounded stuff, like what's his name, like Joker killing Lois Lane, Nightwing also dies, big spoilers there, but stuff like that, I would rather see that take place in this movie before the events of the game. So I think they would benefit from a 2 or 3 part movie, and just really dig into those storylines, those stories. But we'll wait and see. Did you want to talk about the hot tub streams, Jesse? Since you have a thing for hot tubs?
we need to talk about the hot tub streams when we actually do a hot tub stream.
Okay.
So whenever we're ready to bust that out.
Sure.
Next week?
Maybe. We'll see.
I gotta get a hot tub first.
Yeah, same.
It's not even a hot tub. Like, half of these chicks are like in like a kiddie pool. Like, come on, dude.
That's the funny part. This is a kiddie pool, but
like if you're gonna go all out with all your junk all out, like you might as well do an actual hot tub.
Yeah. I've already said my piece about how I feel about that content. Like, look, man, I'm not gonna deny it. Sex sells, and if that's what a girl wants to do with getting her views, and by all means. But I think it's hurting like other content creators on Twitch. But I think the culture is hurting the other content creators. I think the culture is it's good for business. It's bad for other things. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But I think that's it. I think that's all the time we have for Totally Fan. Guys, again, I want to thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with us and spend time with us. But that's it. As a reminder, we stream every Saturday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time live on twitch.tv/TotallyAFan, TAF. We also post the podcast on Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you can't catch the show, it goes on anchor.fm/TotallyFan. Also, if you guys love what we do, you guys want to help support the channel, please make sure you guys are sharing, comment, and subscribing on our YouTube episode when it goes up on Wednesday, with the clips sprinkled throughout the week. Also, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe absolutely for free. So please make sure that you guys help us out there. We also have a merch store. We have new merch on the way. And the most important thing is just make sure you guys follow us on social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube at TotallyFan. That community engagement is so important because we want to make sure that we cater the show to what you guys want us to talk about. If you guys have questions, if you guys need deeper insights into anything that's going on in the world of fandom, we want to make sure that we can produce that content for you guys. So yeah, as a reminder, next Saturday, Richard Poor from Kickback and Chillax podcast will be with us. So stay tuned for that episode. I think it's gonna be super fun. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys enjoy it too. But unless you have anything else, Jesse, no, you're good.
I'm good, sir.
All right.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yes, sir. So on behalf of Jesse, this has been Totally Fan. Thank you guys again for taking time out of your day to hang out with us. We will catch you guys on the next one. But until then, as always, thanks for coming.